Before I start this speech, I'd like to make a mark and say that this speech is dedicated to friends, family, and especially my parents for the confidence and support they gave to me throughout this entire experience. Okay. So, my name is Mota, or Isabella. I'm 14 years old and I attend Randall Middle School as an 8th grader. Being 14 years old comes with its benefit, but I will admit that I am not a big fan of it. Coming from any older person's perspective, you may think that being 14 isn't so bad, but really it's not my age that's the issue, it's my generation. See, my generation has to be pushed to do more and to be more to accomplish more, right? And it's a lot harder to create and find new things, but it's a lot easier to complain and hope for things to happen, especially in now at times with pandemic and everything like that and people kind of getting lazy. And I'm not saying it's because of anyone in the crowd, but my generation has been infinitely successful in giving us the stereotypes of people being phone addicted and nicotine abusers. But it's crazy to think about that. And it's even crazier to think of that, especially for us 14-year-olds, that we're only 4 years away. 4 years away from being 18, like a legal adult, 4 years away from graduating high school and being out in the open water of life and trying new things and doing new things that we could never really do while we were this age. And I have a lot of friends like running around like crazy because they don't know what they want to do, they haven't planned it out yet, they haven't really gotten the steps to where they want to be. And the truth is, well, the advice and the truth is that it's goal setting. Because goal setting is what makes the minds of successful people. But how is that true? Because in majority's term today, successful people are what we call, or what we would say maybe wealthy, intelligent people who've created something to make life easier, make life healthier, make life better, right? But I like to call them goal setters. And simply describing them isn't enough. So I've had one of my friends who's conveniently a great artist create a model to show just how different they really are. So there's nothing really going on the outside, but on the inside, it's completely different, truly different. I'm talking about the brain, not the intestines and everything like that. So if I'm going to convince anyone that goal setting is the way to go, I'll start by telling you the gains and self-benefits from goal setting. See, from goal setting, it gets you from point A to point B really easy. And it depends on how much time it is, but it gets you there really easy. And from that, you develop many helpful habits that can turn you into that successful person or goal setter that you want to be. And see, it would look like what's on the screen. So for the first one, it'd be motivation. Motivation is the fuel that you need. It doesn't come from food, it doesn't come from rest. It comes from your own personal beliefs and your own personal will to do more, to be more, and to really be out there. And under that, there's communication skills, which is very important, which is why it's up there, because communicating, getting your point across, getting your thoughts across, getting your ideas across really help you to be one with another person that you might be talking or speaking with. And next to that, there's problem-solving skills. Life isn't a straight line that just runs through completely without any bumps or issues, right? Of course, there's lots of curves, sometimes it gets really tangled and knotted. And of course, we as human beings with personal feelings and beliefs, we can't always get through to one another. So maybe using, I don't know, your communication skills, you can always get through the blunders in life that will always show up. And next to that is time management. Any past students or students now know that time is everything. The time you get at class, the time you get at home, and the time you get during your free time during the day. It's everything to you, right? For your personal life, your school life, and everything else that revolves around you. Having the time to do what you want and to be what you need to be gives you the true confidence and personal beliefs to be who you are. And lastly on there, goals. So how do we set goals? What exactly makes a goal? And how does it set us up for success? So to answer one of those, what exactly makes a goal, think about something that's been bothering you, something that's been troubling you, something that's been keeping you down, keeping you held back, something that you want to get over with, right? Like this speech. And you take that and you apply it to the next question. How do we set goals? And this is a really helpful acronym that I learned years back, and it's called SMART. And SMART stands for specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and timely. Now you take what's been bothering you and you apply it to here. So specific. Do you know what you want? Do you know what you need? Is it a clear one-point thing? It doesn't branch off into other things. It's one thing that you know that you want. And then you apply it to the next one, measurable. How can you measure yourself throughout the goal? How do you know you've met the goal? How do you know you've made progress throughout the goal? It doesn't have to be something that you can physically measure, like maybe weight or something like that. It can be something that you can mentally measure. Like, are you getting better at something? Do you know that you feel better with something? It's just something you have to ask yourself. And then next, action-oriented. How willingly are you and how motivated are you during your goal? Like, what steps are you taking towards your goal? How activated are you in your goal? The faster you move through it and the better you do things, the less time it takes to reach your goal. And the next one, realistic. How realistic is your goal? Because it honestly depends. I mean, if you want to get better at a sport or improve in something or ride a dragon, you're only going to be able to do one of those things, right? It can't be something out of reality, but it can be something that's possible for you. And lastly, timely. How long is your goal going to take? Maybe a couple years, a couple months, weeks, days, minutes, hours. It all depends on the goal and how action-oriented you are in it. And with all of that being said, I like to mix things together, right? And if I haven't lost you now, I probably will. So I like to mix things together. And when you mix everything that we've talked about so far, you will probably get a candle. And the way that this relates to that is because the flame of the candle, I like to think of that as your motivation, your willpower, and your push to do what you want to. And next to that, there's the wax, which represents the steps towards the goal. What is the process to get there? How do you get there, right? And then the wick of the candle represents how organized you are. The more straight it is, the more organized you are, the more tangled it is, you're probably a mess. You probably need to pick yourself up a little. And so I like to show like a lot of examples, right? Because I'm more of that visual person. So I have some examples of past goals that I have here, which really left me in kind of a wreck. So the first one was last night's math homework. Just fine. I got through it pretty easy because I actually paid attention this time. So it was really easy. And then the next one is my sad attempt at reading a 394-page book within 3 days. I eventually finished it, but it took a while because I wasn't really interested in it. But I got there. So. And the last one is my attempt at trying to convince myself that I shouldn't do work at 10 at night because it messes with a sleep schedule, which is pretty important. And you may think I actually got through to myself, but that's a lie. I didn't. And with all that being said, and in conclusion, you only get one chance, one life to do something. And to start goal setting now won't leave you in a mess later with regrets and such worries and sorries for yourself because you didn't do what you wanted to do with the time you had. So with the time we have now, you can start applying those skills and learning to build those skills for something that you want in the future. And it's not hard, well, depending on the person, depending on how you look at it, it's not hard or difficult at all. So to start goal setting now won't leave you in a mess when you're older. And it truly gives you your own definition of the successful person you want to be. Thank you.